And if you truly believe what you're saying, and it shows in your action and your linguistics that you do not, by saying, I am the universe is me, yet I'm going to go and take advice from someone in a white lab coat. You want to access that information for yourself, and you want to develop the skills. That is the sole purpose of what we do, is acquiring your direct source information for yourself that's validated through the supercharge, the kinesthetic response. Hi guys, today in this video, we're going to go over conscious, unconscious, subconscious, 3 different shades and gradients of really your perception of your reality. Now, we go back and forth, but we give you a greater understanding of how to access a whole 100% conscious state. And we give you different points in understanding the information, how it's being transmitted and translated for you and your human being experience. And make sure that you wait to the end of the video where we will go through an actual exercise that will link your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious from a Taoist perspective, creating what we consider complete consciousness, which is the Wu Ji, and that will be realized in a tangible kinesthetic response that you have and your awareness. Thank you for your time and enjoy the video. Welcome to the consciousness of the way. Come on in, beautiful beings, to my divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. Welcome, welcome. Yay. Yay, yay. Another yay day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to be or not to be, that is the question. Yes, it's good to be me. So, we went over some incredible insight, a lot of feedback, revelation from our last podcast. There is this need to not separate yourself, to realize that oneness, and ultimately how fast you can track that right up, all up. You know what I'm saying? And so that synergy, it's like an aha moment that takes place. It's really beautiful to watch through social media how people find their path, their realization, their consciousness. It seems to be very popular to discount this understanding that, you have a seed of something that generates where you're at this moment in your reality. And it's never to dismiss or, understanding you may come from a place of faith, a place of religion, a place that would be complete opposite of what you would conceive or perceive as your general reality. And then, you take it to a whole nother level. And, if you start off with believing in God and Jesus and then go from that to Bodhisattva, high consciousness, Christ, Buddha, whatever it is that you do, there is no right or wrong way. There's just a path that brings you to this point of realization. It's when I like to call it put up or shut up. It's like, show me. I want you to show me. I love showing people, and they have that aha moment, whether it's a channeling, a psychic reading. There is variation. People like to put different grades on things. I'm very much a one-stop shop. I'm trained in this stuff, and that's what the internal alchemy and the mastery of Taoism is. Ultimately, that's why, once again, I'll refer to the one and only Bruce Lee. He chose the path of Taoist internal practices because he realized that was the most powerful. And we do it second to none. There's no question about it. Are you biased, Seafood? Yes. And it's only because this is what I know. To create mastery, you stay in your groove and you master it. That's the whole purpose of it. People are like, well, how many other things? I am, versed in many different things. I have mastery in many things, from, psychology, neurology, biology, quantum, science, physics, you name it. To create that mastery, you must integrate things. You see it from all different angles. You find your groove, and then you stay there, and then you apply other aspects of the same viewpoint, which would be consciousness, and then you refine it.
Expand it.
Right. And so how do you do that? To be most successful and most profound about that is to acquire a direct source of information that goes way beyond anything that's book read. And then you have profound aha moments on a daily. And, there's nothing like having your best friends with you at will all day, every day. And that's my teachers, that I have access to information instantaneously. And then you validate that. A lot of people tend to talk about this. I was a skeptic. I never wanted to be a psychic. It's like, okay. Is this really about you, or is it about your opportunity to share with others? Everyone has a problem, just like they have at what. And so the reality is you start to see the filter of people's actions as to whether they're really about the consciousness, because I have observed this incredible, coming into this space, this is quite some space, it's this whole idea, concept of, we're about consciousness, we're about raising the planet, we're about... right now, from my viewpoint within this space as a Taoist priest, which, just gives me an angle of how I perceive things. That's all. That's my sensory perception and how I'm acquiring my skills to level up my consciousness. I've found a lot of people that they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, meaning they're in this space and they talk about consciousness and wanting to raise people's frequency and vibration, and then are literally immersed in envy, jealousy, and desire to bolster their perceived ego, as opposed to just sharing. Because your gift is your offering, as we spoke about in the last podcast. And when you really, there's nothing to hide. You come to this realization when it comes to healing and alternative healing. People want to hide this stuff. And I'll be honest with you, it happened to me for probably 30 seconds over 30 years ago. I get it. I had the first time I witnessed a physical healing before my very eyes, I was like, oh, no one else can see this. I can't teach this to anyone else. This is so profound. Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable, because you're being framed in your mind to believe that you are very limited. And it's all got to do with, as people have coined it, the mindset and this infrastructure. I'm on the journey of mastering my Mandarin. I keep saying that, but the year is not out. Trust me, I will be flowing. And Jade's like, that's right, you will be flowing. And that's right. Anyway, so by the year end, we will be flowing with Mandarin. And I will start helping and teaching others with it. The point being is, on my journey of understanding the real process of developing, because learning anything is the biggest misconception that you could have. What does that mean? So let's separate. Let's go through the dive of the conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Mm-hmm. These are the three sort of like spaces that we operate in, and they are related to three levels that shifts the consciousness, and ultimately you want to envelop it as whole, so you become one with all. And it's very hot topic to talk about rewiring the brain, entraining the brain, neurofeedback, understanding the conscious and unconscious process. People equate everything to
habits.
Behaviors, conscious and unconscious, autonomous behaviors, conscious behaviors, cognitive behavior, all these sort of different subsections or identifications of what's going on. So on the journey of acquiring, and I love this word because this is really what we're talking about, because you have already access to it. You are the field in concept. If that's the first thing you've heard of today when you're listening to this channel, that's the beginning of your incredible realization of how powerful you are, because you're accessing all things that you already are. What did you just say, Sifu? You're accessing all things that you already are. When you are full tilt on board with this realization, you've cranked the consciousness a dial up 3 notches. You go, booyah. I am the field is me. And so acquiring as opposed to learning is the misconception. So there's acquiring, learning, and then knowing. Okay? So we've got different degrees, but when we look at the education system, this is the fallacy and the misconception on why so many people are turning away from general public or private school systems, because they're so antiquated and like dusty and old, and you go to even something as supposedly groundbreaking as Ivy League colleges and schools, where you're paying hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to acquire a piece of paper that tells you you are the best of the best. You're behind the 8 ball if you're coming across someone like myself, or someone that has just gone, you know what, I don't want the book learning. I'm going to be a YouTuber. Excuse me? What? Yeah, I'm going to be a YouTuber. Well, guess what happens? They full force, full tilt into a reality where you are now acquiring practical real-world application instantaneously. They're not waiting for someone to validate. If you memorize 3 paragraphs from a textbook that was published 40 years ago to come to this realization. Oh, just on a side note, just in case we didn't get the memo of what we're speaking on today, we're talking about conscious and unconscious. We're talking about the inner learning mechanisms of how to acquire this incredible skill. It's really cracking open what you already know. This is where we go back to Jade and I talk about you are the field is you. Understanding these inner workings, because this is where you're going to see instant change. And this is what people are looking for. They're pursuing that, Well,
you think about any athlete, they're not, they might learn, the basics of the game or something like that, but everything else is a feeling. Everything else is, okay, if I run a certain speed and turn a certain way, I'm going to be able to catch the ball 60% of the time. Or even a race car driver. Everything is okay, if I hit this turn perfectly at a 20-degree angle and I know I'm going a certain speed, it's all the feeling and the constant experience that they're getting every time they do it. This time it worked, this time it didn't. this time, I found that perfect sweet spot that I know I can stay in. And then that just expands even more. It isn't a like book learned thing. It's a feeling, it's an experience that they go through.
Did you say a feeling?
Yeah, whether it's
What does that mean? For some reason that resonates with me.
Yeah.
What do you mean a feeling, Jade?
it's that personal kind of practice every single time and it's different for different people. It has to be tailored to you. And I think that's why athletes and kind of professional sports people are so attractive when they're successful, is because they've hit that knowing. They've surpassed, like you said, the acquiring, the learning, and you're just watching them in that knowing. And it's like, why are you attracted to certain athletes or pro athletes over other ones? It's because you're watching this energy and this magnetism and this almost superhuman kind of a ripple off of them. And it's like you idolize them, or they get idolized in history as achieving such an amazing feat for, just them practicing every day and having that right feeling at the right time.
Yeah, this feeling thing, I don't know. You're onto something there. I don't know what that... I'm not sure exactly what that means. Sifu, are you talking some BS right now? Well, no. I'm being a little... I'm the court jester. Yeah. Yes, of course. Everything we talk about on this channel is understanding the feeling is the key element, because that... The soft technology, the neurology that is your physical body, is the tuning fork to the simulation of your reality. And it starts with a thought, feeling, and an emotion. And that ripples out into this simulation, into this reality that you perceive as your life. So when we talk about the three stages, we have conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. These are completely related within Taoism. Mic drop, are you ready to go with this? So the Taoist model of understanding, this is conscious, this is subconscious, this is unconscious. Now they're all deeper rooted, because enveloping as one, the sun, the earth, the moon, enveloping as one, you are all systems are go. Thunderbirds are go. Understanding this. So this is the light. This is the information. This is the energy, right? So when these are all connected and you synchronize them,
you are all things.
You are all things, baby. Yeah, that charge that everyone got and went, whoa, this makes total sense. And, you'll have people that will move within the psychology realm, the hypnotherapy. I love the difference, because everyone has to have title, right? So I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a hypnotist. I'm a psychologist. I'm a therapist. I'm a behavioral therapist. In any case, these are all just subsections of the same thing. You have to understand, all this stuff has been done before, and someone has coined a title of it. It's almost the same as, here's a revelation, just in case you didn't get this. You have the domination in the world today of what we consider this infrastructure of, are you a good boy? Did you get your health insurance? Are you a good girl? Did you get all the insurance that you need to make sure you cover yourself, that you are doing the right thing by yourself, by your family? Because if you don't do all these things, then you're a bad human being for not contributing to these megalomaniacs, I'm sorry, did I say that are creating your reality. And I say that because you have everything within you. Anything else is a distraction. Understand this, know this to be true. All the things that you need to create your reality, to bolster and to create perfection and access what you were born with, you have within yourself. So when you are distracted by this subsectional stuff, because people come to me and they go, oh, look at this. I found this new technique. It's neural feedback. It's this, it's tapping, it's that, it's that. And then I give them the parallels of all the ancient Taoist tools that have been around for tens of thousands of years. They go, oh, yeah. With all due respect, I got that from one of my friends. It's kind of a little condescending. But anyway, this is Sifu's personality. Just so you know the difference, because I know the difference. There is an understanding that you need to be aware of, that all of this stuff has already been created. People are selling you the old expression, it's all a pig in a different color. It's all the same. Now, that expression relates to, you can paint it a different color, but the reality is it is what it is. And I would, moreover, reflect that to all these different subsections or ideas that you've created, the realization that because someone, discovered a strand of DNA back in the 60s, that all of a sudden now we have an understanding of what, mystics, gurus, people of faith, and I speak of all people, and it starts with the seed of religion, then it comes to a faith or understanding, a belief system in something great, whatever it is, has been around for tens of thousands of years.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I don't know, I'm on a real sports thing today. You even think of just like gladiators. You think gladiators had a gym to go to build muscle? I mean, people have been building muscle or muscular or created physiques for, thousands of years. The Greek gods, the statues, I mean, that was all based off of these models. And it's like now today, to be in shape and to be muscular and to create, this Greek god-like physique, you have to, use these machines and do this technique and go to your Pilates class. And it's like, they didn't have any of that thousands of years ago. They just, worked out in the field or was a farmer or, took care of their horses or it wasn't, nobody even went to gyms didn't even exist. It's like but yet the physique hasn't changed.
Right,
The
right.
muscular structure hasn't changed. People still had muscles back then,
Right.
maybe not as consciously, but again, it's like, that didn't happen. But
Right.
all of a sudden it's like, the gym, that's the only way I can, achieve this aesthetic look.
Yeah, and Jade makes this great point. So you have this, very limited viewpoint, as if you just woke up. It's kind of like I had a white point. I've been walking this earth as this physical form for many decades, but I love to watch people come across something that they believe was discovered for the first time. Now, what's the bastardization of that? And I'm not going to talk about, energetic psychology, all that stuff, because we can go on and on and on. But I promise you, anything that you think that you've seen or created or something new, I promise you, you will find it is from ancient Taoist practices that are tens of thousands. I'll show you. I don't care what it is, whether you're like, oh, my goodness, quantum hypnosis, quantum healing, quantum touch, quantum this, that. Everyone has a different packaging system. It's all from ancient stuff that is tens of thousands of years old. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you show me. It's been there, and I can show you the original mastery and how it took place, that you've derived some derivative of that someone's used their own perception to repackage it as something else. And that's completely fine. Remember, all the information is already there. But when someone goes, oh, this is something that I created and, it's all profound and natural, and, there are quite a few people right now that are operating with that true source information, and a lot more, and this is what we teach people. You come to that realization. Yet most people are like, I want to talk about, liberate yourself, have an open mind to this, that, and something else, but then they want to talk about listening to a doctor. That doesn't make sense to me. They want to talk about, you have all the power within you, you are the universe, but let's go and talk to a psychologist. I'm sorry, but you're contradicting the very essence of who you really are. And if you truly believe what you're saying, and It shows in your action and your linguistics that you do not, by saying, I am the universe is me, yet I'm going to go and take advice from someone in a white lab coat. You want to access that information for yourself, and you want to develop the skills. That is the sole purpose of what we do, is acquiring your direct source information for yourself that's validated through the supercharge, the kinesthetic response. And so people will attempt to reinvent the wheel, and I'm sorry, but all this stuff is from some ancient practice that was discovered 10,000 years ago. And I promise you, those discoveries were probably discovered another 10, 20, 100,000 years ago, and it goes on and on and on, and that's completely okay. But when people are, and I was getting back to this reference point, it's like, oh my goodness, look at this. It's like, here's a classic one. Just take, a P. Diddy song, My Money, My Problems. It's like, I didn't even think maybe he asked Sting. I'm not sure whether he asked him to take the hook from Every Breath You Take. But like one of his biggest songs ever with one of his friends that wasn't even alive when he recorded that, and he's made the most money from, and he's the most popular creating his $1 billion empire, was from a hook in a whole song that he never even wrote. And so that whole generation of people are like, my goodness, look at P. Diddy, wow, this is crazy, wow. And I'm like, that's like a song from the 80s. What? What are you talking about? That just came out. What do you mean? It's like Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. I mean, back in the 90s, it was like, man, get this jam out. This guy's a rapper and a half. I'm like, that's David Bowie, Under Pressure. What? What are you talking about? And then, moreover, I think that was originally written by Freddie Mercury.
Queen.
Freddie Mercury, right? So it's like, and this is completely okay because everyone has their own angle and perception. You must realize there's a value in everything. Mm-hmm. When people become very limited by going, this is my viewpoint, this is my own reality, and this comes back to conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and this is where people go, there's no conscious unconscious, it's just conscious and subconscious. No, there's 3 different degrees, and I could show you firsthand, and we will show you today before this podcast is out, the degrees of that. But understanding that you have the ability to rewire that, access that consciousness, that brainwave that puts you in that place, that awareness. You know what I'm saying? And so this is critical to how you access information. But always remember, when someone goes, hey, I want you to be in the universe, and we're going to use all these alternative tools, and da-da-da-da, and then they go and see a doctor and have someone tell you whether you're good, bad, or indifferent, is just, from my personality perspective, redonkulous.
Well, that's the difference between reading whether someone thinks they're consciously running their life or their reality, or whether it's subconscious or unconsciously being ran, even though they're still in this. Everyone's in the mindset that they're conscious of their reality. Everyone's in the mindset that I make decisions. If I want to eat a donut, I'm going to eat a donut. If I want to not go to the gym today, I don't have to. If I want to drive my car at the speed limit, I will. When really they're, working on different programs, working on different things that they've learned, experiences, their unconscious behavior, their linguistics, all the things that really tell what's going on, even though everyone's still in this mindset that they're like, no, I'm conscious. I have free will. I'm making these decisions myself. I'm not being controlled. I'm in control. And that's a perfect example of, you have these people that are like, oh, I'm one with the universe. I'm connected. I'm this. And it's like, I just went to the doctor yesterday and I got my mammogram and I'm good. And you're like, wait, you just kind of said 2 things at the same time. So which mindset or duality are you really in, and which one is really running the ship, driving the car, controlling what's going on right now.
Well, that's exactly just like the scripture says. Not only do you apply it to virtue, if you act in virtue, you have none. An instant indicator for you, if you're just like starting on your little bicycle with your training wheels on in this, and you just jumped onto this podcast and was like, man, what are these guys talking about, all this crazy stuff? This is insane. Use this as a model. If you think you have control, you have none whatsoever. Understand this, know this to be true. All thoughts of your mind are not yours. What? Man, this guy's, what is he smart? I get a lot of this from a lot of potheads. They kind of gravitate to the feed and they're like, man, he's on some good stuff, man. What is he smoking? Because they've yet to acquire. Their guides are bringing them to our feet to be leveled up in consciousness by seeing some information that we're pointing out and giving them another facet or angle of their viewpoint to potentially ignite a realization. Click that consciousness level up and realize you don't need to get it from the pot. You don't need to get it from DMT, from mushrooms. All that stuff is internalized. Am I saying that's wrong? Absolutely not, because everyone has their own level of consciousness. How they get there, at a certain point, the most profound realization is realizing you can evoke all these things from within you at will, and this is where you level up. And so, when you believe you're in control, you have none whatsoever. And that's a profound realization, but that's also a starting point, because as you start to level up more, you start to realize that tangibility, that kinesthetic response, that feeling will validate it for yourself. You're not running around going, oh, man, I had this incredible experience. I had a dream. I had this, I had that. You're able to validate that feeling instantaneously. That blows people's minds and goes, whoa. I got the register. That's why with the Way 126 is so powerful. Visual, audible experience, creating the kinesthetic charge, instantly making you realize your validation, that feeling, that supercharge gives you the go time that you're at gamma wave, brainwave frequency, 40 hertz and above, that envelops your brain, giving you complete access to your consciousness 100%, having access to theta, alpha. You are able to be pliable, creative, conscious, 100%, absorb all information at will, access all things, manifestation, healing, magic, instantaneously. This is the power of what happens. That's why it's so unique. That's why we have so many incredible epiphanies and realizations from people that use the app. They're like, my goodness, I had no idea. This is about you hitting the ground running. And what I've acquired over many decades, you could acquire over the next second, because you are accessible to my field. I'm putting it out there. You have the neurology. We've spoken on it in great detail. I'll do a detail. I'll give you a fast track, quick summary. Your mirror neurons instantly realize with mine, and that messaging, that frequency is connected as the field, as we are all one, whether you are conscious or not. That information is being realized and you are accessing it neurologically. That's why when I say supercharge, and you get that charge right now, because we're interconnected, baby.
Yeah.
And this is what goes on all day, every day. Now, you can dismiss it because you're getting lower level information that you're saying, this is a coincidence, or, I'm kind of lucky. Or no, when you start to refine that groove, and then you level up on your sensory perception, which is our whole goal, that's what our app does, then all of a sudden it's go time. You start switching into these profound moments of realization where, oh, man, all of this stuff is opening up. A good friend of mine is going through it right now, and she's having this incredible epiphany because what it does is, on an energetic level that you may not be able to see with your naked eye at the moment, these things are taking place. And with the visual and audible experience, this is sound frequencies, images, all this stuff is ancient stuff. Every letter, every number, every word, every symbol is in the right place at the right time within our app that evoke these Nigong and Qigong. Nigong working energy with your mind, Qigong working energy with your breath. These are ancient practices, 11 herbs and spices that are integrated, proprietary blend into this incredible experience that we speak on that gives you that realization. You're evoking these energy centers and you're synchronizing them. So every time one opens, all this stuff is realized. And what she's coming to realize is, holy moly, I'm having literal like spiritual awakenings and I'm accessing the spirit realm. They're coming to me, all this stuff, because we're unlocking that stuff from the material. It's all yours. It's yours, and it's yours to be had. That's what this thing does. It's on another level. I know this because these are ancient practices. All I did was I was at this moment of consciousness in this time, place, history of mankind, as I am nothing more than a manifestation of divine word, will, light, love of the Tao, realized right here as a catalyst and conduit to share this information that it's put into a digital form just due to the evolution of mankind and where we're at, that it can now be captured. You don't have to be sitting in some monastery in China. You have vehicles like myself that are transmitting the information, direct source within this app, using ancient Taoist techniques that have been handed down for thousands of years that are then realized for you. And so she's having this, she just unlocked the first week and she's like, holy moly, I'm mind blown. Absolutely, because this is yours. We're just tuning your fork. This is your tuning fork. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, your tuning fork for your reality. And once it's tuned, you're on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And that is what's so powerful. And so conscious, subconscious, unconscious, this is what we're speaking on today, the power of those different subsets and their access points to a higher level. That's it. So people can paint it a different, it's hypnotherapy, it's a trance, it's trauma, and in her situation, she uses specific tools, and I'll be more than happy to talk to her about where those tools came from, because they all came from ancient practices that are thousands of years old, that someone hooked in through what they believe is their own mind, their own thoughts, and they went, oh, I came up with a great idea. Is it any different that I can guarantee you, whatever the process is, I can show you the absolute source of where it came from? And people are like, oh, I thought it was P. Diddy. It's really Sting. Yeah. I know it's a letdown. I don't know whether it's a letdown or it's more maybe a bastardization of something. I have no idea. In my opinion, as an 80s nut, I'm not a fan of people butchering stuff. And that's just pure source. That's just me. But in reality, there's always a source of something else. You know, the old expression, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, hasn't been around for as long as you can remember or the test of time, because of those exact expressions that are rippling into the field as your realization as consciousness.
And that's why you have all these, deja vu moments, or I've been here before, or this seems so natural, this seems so easy, this seems so effortless. It's like you're just tapping into already what you've already done, what you already know, what you've already created. Mm-hmm. I always find it funny because you always see this comparison of like the first time parent versus like having their second child, and like the total shift that happens between like, oh my God, am I doing this right? I read this book and da 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 da. And it's like, really, there really is nothing more than that feeling, that experience, that connection, because everyone always says, oh, there's no handbook on how to be a parent and all of these things. But it's like when you go from having your first child, there is a transition of knowing to when you have your second child, that you're like, oh yeah, I got this. This is what happens. Yes, their poop should be this color. Yes, this is totally normal, and all of these things, where it's like that happened no matter how much you book learn or acquire information. Until you go through it, you have that experience, you have those feelings, you have that creates that knowing of like, okay, this is what this is. And I'm just tapping into what I've always done hundreds of lives before.
And that's the powerful part. It's just like, once again, if someone approaches you using fear and protection, that's your first indicator. What did you say, Sifu? Fear and protection. If you are me and I am you and you are the universe, that means nothing has title. Everything is as one. Why are you afraid of yourself? This is very limited, guys. Understand this. And again, you can still operate from that place, because I've come across hundreds of people over my natural born life in this space of energy, frequency, vibration, teaching people these ancient tools over 30 years, that they can still create their own subsection of their reality, because your truth is the only truth you need to be concerned with. And we remind you over and over again, that is the seed of your reality. Your perception is your reality, that you can create this wonderful, I'm an exorcist, I'm a psychic, I'm a healer, and you can be, you're limiting your potential. I'll just tell you this as an observation, that if you truly embrace what we speak of in relation to the universe, whatever you're acquiring, whether it's an exorcism, you're the big badass Ghostbuster, or you're doing things that are psychic, and you're using the baseline, you're doing healings, whatever modality you're using, if you are starting with fear and you're still getting a result, understand this, know this to be true, because the deeper seated awareness that envelops your whole consciousness is from past lives, and you're bringing it together. So you can consciously go, I'm miserable, I'm negative, I'm this, I'm that, yet things keep unfolding perfectly in place. And I've come across hundreds of people like that over my career. They're like, their subconscious programming, their unconscious programming is profound in of itself as a reincarnation of an immortal, and this will be realized in their reality. Now, that fractional level where you're just building on itself, no matter how much you attempt. Remember, your conscious is only 5% of the operating system. So, if you're arm wrestling your conscious and your unconscious, guess what's going to happen? It doesn't become, you only know what you know, you don't know what you don't know. It doesn't shift until you know. That's all. Can you be 100% conscious? 1,000%. It's only when you know that you are.
Right.
So it's all got to do with shifting your consciousness level. So don't get me wrong. You can find plenty of psychics, mediums, healers, whatever you want to call it, that are having their own results in their own reality because they've framed their reality that way. I promise you this, whatever results they're getting, healings, readings, all the rest of it, it's still based in fear. So they are not even operating at their 100% potential. And when they come to that realization, and listen, I've done exorcisms for decades. I've done clearings. I've worked with all different types of energies and entities that would make the hair curl. You jump out of your own body. But these are all manifestations of the individual that I'm working with at that particular time that is generated. And people are always like, I want to be the Ghostbuster. Really? When you see it, trust me, unless you are fearless, you're going to wish you never wished that you were experiencing that. That's all. Because this only works within a duality. So these type of things where you're having the polarizing yin and yang, and we talk over and over again about this, you're going up the mountain, you realize everything as one. That's the ultimate for a Taoist, is to realize that everything's as one. The universe has no moral compass. The universe is as one is all things. So there isn't like a separation. Understand this. It's like we only use this within a duality, and understand the duality would give you yin and yang. As one thing, yin and yang operate as all things, everything as one. You are the field. So that means that you can be fully immersed in all operating systems at once. And that's a huge level of consciousness. Now, that can happen to you instantaneously. I can say this, and you have an epiphany that blows the roof off the very viewpoint of your reality right now, and I offer you that moment of consciousness. And that energetic component, that kinesthetic response is what validates it for you. And so when these people come in with, you need to be fearful, you got to put your protection bubble around, you got to do all that stuff, it's almost like you're at the kids' end of the pool and you're dog paddling, and you've yet to start doing laps. You've yet to start stretching out and swimming. So you're not even scratching the surface of your potential. I just want people to understand this, because there is no right or wrong, but when you start with fear, there's always going to be a limitation to what your potential is. It's an incoherent, behavior. It creates the incoherence, which makes it impossible for you to align yourself at the highest frequency so that things materialize instantaneously. This is why people will get their manifestation, their healing, or whatever, and it'll work one day and then it won't work the next, or it'll happen 1 month and 1 minute, because they're still basing their stuff in fear and still operating that way. They haven't fully enveloped the 100% consciousness model that we're talking about. And that's okay. At some point that will be realized, And when you do what we always talk about, and Lao-Tzu reminds me of this every day, one of my teachers, a teacher here on the channel, we bring him into this space. We had him yesterday. He's going to come back today. He reminds us, when you don't make it about yourself, life is effortless. Mm-hmm. Because you're separating yourself from the actual flow. Wu Wei, effortless action, my friends, effortless effort. You want access to the Wu Ji, which is the stillness, the perfection. It takes 1 second. And this is right from the scripture. So this is in line with what I talk about. To access the Wu Ji, the stillness, all things being realized as one, is the separation between yin and yang. So between the breath in and the breath out is the Wu Ji. That is the stillness, the oneness. That is also realized, as I talk about, the yin and yang, two sides of the mountain coming up to one, realizing as a whole. Does this make sense?
I think so. And I think it's really evident in a lot of people where, like, you'll look at someone who's super successful in one aspect of their life. They've mastered, again, getting back to like a pro athlete, they've mastered that aspect of their life, but their personal aspect or their personal life is miserable. They've had 5 divorces. They've had kids with multiple different people, and they don't have a relationship with any of them. They lost all their money because they made bad business decisions. They've, then their health starts to deteriorate. And you're like, how, I'm looking at this person and they've been so masterful in one aspect of this thing where they've created this conscious to unconscious to subconscious, complete coherence. But yet on the other side of the coin, it's like this part of their life, they are just completely stuck in the weeds. They can't get out of it. They're and you look at that kind of duality of where it is. And like you said, getting back to like how important I think many people can find a skill or find something important and learn how to master it. Within our app, you're mastering yourself. You're mastering that stillness. You're mastering the flow, that it doesn't matter. Once you level up to that mastery, it doesn't really matter what the subsection is. I want to be the best psychic. I want to be the best athlete. I want to be the successful entrepreneur. Everything in your life is in that flow, is in that mastery, is at that level. It doesn't matter if it's your relationship with your wife, your kids, your husband, your business, your success, making money, whatever it is, your influence, your power, all of it is at this mastered level because you've raised all 3 of those things without subsection, that you are everything, you are the universe, that there isn't just like, this one tree grows the very tallest, but every other thing is just a weed. Everything is infinite, no matter what aspect of your life you're looking at.
Yeah. And that is the power of you, which is the universe.
Right.
Oh, it's ego. See, if I call myself all-knowing and all-powerful, because you are. And so it's not about ego. It's your dissolve of separation. And that's how you create these feats. That's how I create instant healing, instant manifestation, magic, is all things have zero title. They all fall away, and all I am observing is this synergy and synchronicity, the power and density of the energy that I'm speaking of right now, that you're experiencing at home, that we're experiencing here, is because there is no title. It's just synergizing with one, and then you're able to alter that from a higher dimension that we've spoken on. You can read it in my book, The Ancient Practice of Synchronicity, which gives you an in-depth, step-by-step understanding of what that really is, dimension by dimension by dimension, leveling up. So these are, profound moments of shifting from conscious to subconscious to unconscious. And this is just giving you a baseline to understand this tuning fork. And then you go beyond that. Once you realize that everything is happening instantaneously, that this present moment, your gift is your offering is your gift, that this is perfection, all of a sudden, all bets are off. Everything is realized instantaneously. We're moving faster than light. We can access the future, the present, the past. That's how I do readings, past life readings, present and future. And this happens immediately because this is all part of the synchronicity of the universe. And so on a bigger level, always remember the universe has zero moral compass. Understanding and framing it from words like fear and laws limit you in of itself. Is that a seed or a mechanism that's necessary for you to adopt a level of consciousness? Beautiful. Use that as adopting a level of consciousness. Understand that once you level up beyond that, your confirmation, your validation, your realization of it will be in your reality. Wow. I kind of look around and my life is effortless. That's why the 72-hour challenge is so powerful, because when you accept and allow everything, within 24 hours, it becomes effortless in of itself. You don't realize how much you've been sabotaging your own flow, because when you think something and you put your intention to it, the energy goes where your intention goes, meaning that you're drawing from your own constitution, your physical body, that is putting it and concentrated into an email, into a text, into whatever it is, and you're putting that, thought, feeling, and emotion that may be of lower vibration, whether you're hating on someone on the internet, you got something to say on someone's blog, you are fusing that energy and you're putting it out into the cycle of the universe, which is drawing from your physical body, instead of using yourself as one, where you can be energized 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you won't even realize it. So if you're a massage therapist, you're a healer, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, whatever, they come to me for decades because they feel tapped, because they're literally tapping into their own life force, because they're operating from fear and protection. When you become one with all things, you are abundant, timeless, endless, limitless, infinite, never-ending flow, baby.
Yeah, it's just like when you watch little gymnastics and they're like learning to tumble or like learning a backflip or something. They have like little pads and it's like, okay, now you've mastered that. Now we will give you like a little bit of support. Okay, now you've mastered that. And then they get to a point where it's like, I can do a backspring and 12 flips and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, they no longer even look back at that and go, oh yeah, I remember when I had that special pad or that ball that rolled me and flipped me over. It's like, no, their consciousness is already at that point where it's like, yes, I can do 10 backflips back to back to back to back to back. I don't even think about, what I was processing when I was first learning that. You just get to that higher level and you stay there, and then you replicate it and you do it, and then you just do something else, and then you do something else, and then you do something else. And it's like, that's that level up that you get with your consciousness too, when you start realizing, you can create your own manifestation, healing, magic. It isn't, you're not processing and thinking about all the things. You're just doing it. You're knowing it. You're feeling it. And then that expands even more.
Booyah. And that's really the most important thing. And so just through today, understanding those sections that become enveloped as one, is just giving you a starting point. And that's what we're here for, is to give you that starting point and for you to level up and to synergize and to synchronize and to create this coherence that puts you at one with the universe.
Right.
And when that happens, your everyday life will show you, will validate you, will give you confirmation and proof of exactly how synchronized you really are. Understand this, know this to be true. If you come from a place of fear, if you come from a place of limitations, like protection, it's separation. Don't you understand this? Like, I want you guys to be very clear. When you're enveloping yourself, you need to protect yourself from what? Yourself. Process that for a minute. Because that's where you will be very limited with your information. And what happens is you have no idea your true potential until that penny drops. And when that drops, whatever you've been operating in and achieving whatever it is in your career, whatever it is that you're doing, and you've been achieving results that have confirmation that you can see, will be a millionfold once you dissolve that separation, because you are not separate. You are one. I am you, you are me. And that's where people freak out. It's like, well, I can show you God. Oh, I don't want to see you. It's like, I love God and Jesus. I'm like, well, let me show you. I'll access the frequency. I'll bring his spirit and energy into the space, and that blows people's minds. And, just me saying that, you can feel a rippling effect here right now. That's because that energy is everywhere. It's just a different frequency. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration, be all and end all. And that can be accessed by anyone. You just have to be refined in your skills, your awareness, your consciousness. Boom.
Yeah, you have all the tools to do it.
Right.
And now we're just giving you the little training wheels, or taking away your training wheels, however quickly you want to have that be realized for you within yourself, and removing those limitations, and then going, oh, yes, I am a badass. Yes, I can create my reality. I'm not a victim.
Never. No one is. It's just how you were creating your perception. But understand this, know this to be true. Your guides, guardians, and angels, whatever has brought you to this point, means for you to level up, because we know, Jade and I know, anyone in our field, in our stratosphere, is to level up. You're in the fam. You're in the fam right now. Come on in, beautiful beings, because I don't just say that as a passing, statement. I am 1000% embodied in that. You can feel that from my heart, because I am you, you are me. I'm just welcoming myself and embracing myself with this universal consciousness. And that's what I only want for all of humanity, which is oneness, baby. That singular, that black hole energy, that 0 point energy, that level up where you are accessing all things at once. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's incredibly powerful. And when you do get to that level and that synchronicity and that coherence, you just want everyone else to feel what you're feeling, because it feels so good, and it feels so empowering, and it feels so exciting that you just ooze out with this this level and need to want to share and level other people up and create this coherence anywhere you can with anyone that you meet or see or connect with, because they are you, you are me, the whole thing. It's this rippling effect that it's just infectious.
Booyah. Yeah, so going over what we did today was quite interesting. We went over the subsections of what you perceive as consciousness, understanding that everything has a title, and the sooner you fast track yourself to realizing nothing has a title, that's the inner power of what we were talking about. And, going back to my language exploration of what is a true core of me, you can feel it. Like when I listen to Mandarin, it's in me. It's been in me for thousands of years, and every reincarnation I've ever had, it's my true essence. And it's my language, it's my culture, it's my love. And it resonates whenever I hear it. Some people are like, that sounds so horrible. Oh, it's like music to my ears, my friend. And that's the indicator. So baseline intuition starts from here. And you're going to get that. That's a first stage. And then when you start getting consciousness, you start leveling up, syncing the energy centers, light, information, energy. You start synchronizing those things. All of a sudden, the gut feeling when synchronized with the heart, the brain, is 1,000% accurate. And you start leveling up. You start getting more confirmation of that. Validating. When that comes in, big, badass things start taking place. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that coherence. It's more synchronizing.
Well,
aligning.
we use that word. It's kind of like an interesting thing because I go back and forth with that. It's very popular, like consciousness. I use it out of habit. What we would call consciousness is the stillness from the Taoists. Wu Ji is consciousness.
The flow, being in the flow.
Well, Wu Ji is the consciousness. The flow is the Wu Wei. Right? So effortless action is realized as Wu Ji. And so that's the lack of separation. That's the envelopment as whole. And so I possibly, lean towards Jade and I talk about, coherence, consciousness, because these are very popular words right now. But we can go right back to the ancient text and realization of what that really is, right? So today, going over that with that understanding sort of subsection, helping you guys realize how powerful you are, that we go to the next level, which is let's bring those in as one, okay? So you want to get a real taste of a gamma brainwave. That's what we're going to do. We're going to merge conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, being the earth, the sun, the moon, all as one, using the powerful techniques, the ancient techniques of Nigong and Qigong, into this experience. And, as we talk on it, you get the palpability, you're already juiced up on it. You're feeling it. That's okay. You're welcome anytime. This is what takes place. This is the synchronicity that we speak of. And that rippling effect that takes place is like, Sifu, before he says it, I feel something. Absolutely. You are dialing up. You are leveling up. You are becoming all more powerful as you are one with all things. Realize that, know that to be true. Booyah. It's yours for the taking. We are just dusting off what has been ingrained and integrated into your very essence forever. So I'll ask my divine delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade, if she had any closing thoughts or feelings or emotions that she wanted to share with us.
I think it's really good that we kind of go over all of these things, because it is so easy to put them in these different, like, this section, and look at it very how do you want to say it? Look at it very zoomed in instead of zoomed out and kind of seeing all of it in one thing. Whereas, like, you know, we are as humans very zoomed in, whether it's to our daily lives or our emotions or reacting to that specific moment, instead of kind of taking a step back and zooming out and processing stuff over a bigger length of time or a bigger viewpoint, bigger picture. And when you start kind of really seeing that perspective, things definitely start shifting and changing, instead of that, you know, hyper focused, you know, right there in that moment.
100. So with that, this particular exercise is going to be a level up for all people, whether you're new to the channel or you're a 126er or you're just an OG of our material. This will be a level up for you. So, you know, we're going to merge all three of the Dantians, and it's going to be realized. So, what does that mean? Well, this Dantian is phosphorus, gold, white light. This is phosphorus, red, white light. This is phosphorus, blue, white light. Now, as we've spoken on, unconscious, subconscious, conscious, these are all going to merge together. So you're going to, from this exercise, experience a high gamma frequency, gamma brainwave frequency, that will be realized on how you feel. It will be like, how do I explain it? You're merged with all things. I want some of that,
Yes,
Sifu.
please.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So there'll be 3 breaths, as we always talk about. It'll be a very short breath in and out. For the upper Dantian, it will just be middle Dantian, lower Dantian. Now, you can feel the chilling effect of that on your neurology. Those are going to happen 3 times, and then I'm going to get you to draw in through your nose 1 time. So all that condensed energy in each Dantian will then be realized as you draw in the last one. So you'll do the last breath of the 3rd Dantian, and it'll be like, then I'll be like, draw in, and then it'll be exhale and hold. So you're then taking all this condensed energy. It's being drawn up the Taiji pole, and it's being laid right here in the upper Dantian, which is that realization. That realization will then be a hold for a 9 count, and you will instantly be gamma brainwave, baby. That means you have access to theta alpha, all realized. How can you do this, Sifu? That's why I'm the Sifu. And you being exposed to this gives you instant access. Oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. And so the more and more we level up with this, the more and more in tune you become, you will flow like water. So what I'll get you guys to do is get really comfortable, and always good to take perhaps a sensory perception off the table. Most people close their eyes. You can keep your eyes open. You level up on your consciousness as it attunes to these energies, as it's all rippling and all this energy is coming through you right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the upper Dantian, which is a phosphorus gold white light. And isn't that funny how I say it? Then poof, all of a sudden you can see that. What is that going on? Your eyes are closed, guys. How is that possible? This will be a repeating effect of what we speak on. And it's kind of interesting, but you're accessing ancient practices that are thousands of years old, transmuted through my very essence, my catalyst and conduit. And that's why it's able to be realized with you as a tuning fork instantaneously. It's like, Sifu, my mind has gone blank and I'm just seeing this color. That's what happens. And this is all a collective. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies. Okay? So we'll do the 3 breaths in, upper, 3 breaths in, middle, 3 breaths in, lower. Then once the last exhale, you'll draw in really deep through the nose, drawing it up your Tai Chi pole. And then you'll exhale it into your upper Dantian. And once you finish the exhale, then we hold for 9. And then it's fun, fun, fun till Daddy take a T-boat away. Oh, yeah. All right. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, thank you for sharing your time with us today. And let's go on that magical mystery ride. Breathe in. Middle Dantian, breathe in. Lower Dantian. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Is that just crazy? Is that crazy how that's even possible? To this day, I'm always profoundly blown away by that instant access that they give us as the field, and that crazy bubbling effect in your upper dantian, where you would consider your third eye, Taoist sixth eye, whatever it is, and you're like, holy moly, my head feels like a bubble. And you are 100% conscious, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why my voice is so rippling into the very essence of your core at a subatomic level. That's why just me speaking has a profound effect on your neurology, because you are there. Yeah, baby, it's yours. That power access is right now. Now just pulsate with that. I'm going to turn that energy in your upper dantian a little bit. I'm going to turn it over like I'm folding dough. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I love that. And that phosphorus gold white light is merged with the red phosphorus white light and the blue phosphorus white light, creating perfection. This is the ultimate. This is your creativity, your healing, your magic, your manifestation instantaneously. Let that be so. Let that be true. Let that be known. And for all those that can hear my voice in the distance, be where you be. Do what you do. Inhale, exhale, and feel that rippling effect as your tuning fork has leveled up a consciousness 2 notches, 9 notches, an awareness that is beyond your wildest imagination. It's all yours realized. And stay with that, be with that, and allow yourself, with your new access of consciousness, to bring yourself back to the consciousness of the room, or moreover, let the room be dissolved, and this is your consciousness right here, right now, 24/7, as it is, as it will be, as it is known. You are the field is you. And just for a little extra added bonus, you can experience this. Whoa, Sifu, your breathing has a crazy effect on my whole physical body. You're welcome. Because we're all interconnected. You are me, I am you. Know that to be true, my friends. I want to thank my divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade. And I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master Sun Quinn. And I will see you on the next one, guys.